Today, we are... Well, first of all, I just want to thank everyone. We checked our followers the other day, and we have 790 people. I know compared to a lot of people, that's not a lot, but that really made us happy because... You know, sometimes it just feels like we're talking to a microphone.
Which technically we are, but...
Yeah,
but sometimes it feels extra talking to a microphone.
So shout out you who's sitting in the subway or in the bathtub or on the toilet, you know? You might not get enough
Or on your
respect.
morning commute, maybe.
Yeah, I said subway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. We live in Lincoln, Nebraska, where subway is not a thing, so...
Yep. Shout out my weird hair today. Jade was wanting to test her braiding skills, so...
I actually cornrowed Eric's hair this morning.
Yeah, so if you're viewing on the video side, you get to enjoy me with cornrowed hair.
It's fun. I like braiding and
It's just a fun look, people. You know, people, you guys should mix up your looks, and my hair looks different every day. I love looking weird. I
was gonna say we didn't introduce ourselves either, so if you're just tuning in with us.
Oh, yes.
I'm Jade.
That is Jade, and I am Eric.
Yep.
And we are your paranormal partners.
Yep.
So
every week we give you an episode on Mondays usually. Sometimes it ends up being Tuesdays. Sometimes it ends up being Sunday nights. That's because we're super busy, but we
try our hardest. I mean, we are consistent with the weekly goal.
Yes.
Which I'm very proud of. We are killing it.
Yes.
And you are killing it by listening regularly. So
jinx.
Virtual high five, people.
So every other week we pick a topic and we research that topic and tell you about the ghosts of those topics or creatures or whatever it may be.
But this week
is encounters.
This is the encounters type of week where we read your ghost stories.
/ supernatural stories. Just
/
really anything
ghosts.
Spooky. The ones I picked today are more stories of the supernatural. They're not ghosts.
Mine is almost on the lines of demonic.
Interesting. Okay. Mine technically might be demonic too, we'll see. But would you like to do us the honors and start, or would...
I have one, so you can go ahead.
I have two, but...
We'll see if we get around to it.
They're pretty short, so...
All right.
Okay, so my first one is called I See a Goatman When I Am Home Alone. Quite a title.
Jeez, that's like... Usually titles are all clickbait and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like... You know, you got a little... It's like a little mystery in it. That's like having a movie be like... Main character dies at the end trying to save the world, but finishes successfully.
Well, I guess, sorry to be a spoiler, but this person sees a goat man when they're home alone.
Okay, next story.
And no, I'm just kidding. So it says, ever since I was young, probably about 5 or 6, as I'm writing this, I am 17, I've had sleep paralysis.
Same.
I have never had sleep paralysis. I've honestly kind of always wanted it to happen to me, but all I've heard is bad, terrible stuff from sleep paralysis.
They're awful, but literally every time it happens, I'm pretty, like, pumped when it's happening. I'm like, oh, gosh, this is dope. What's going to happen? But I'm also like, not too hard, please, Satan.
I'm torn. Like, do I want... Like, is sleep paralysis technically something natural that our brains do, but is it natural? Is it?
I don't think so.
It's just so odd that no one ever has positive experiences with it, because they say it's like your brain being like stuck in REM sleep or something, but you're still awake or something.
Imagine
like that.
A positive sleep
but it's
paralysis.
like, why is it never positive then?
You're on Jeopardy and it's like
Alex Trebek is in your room.
He's like, all right, you won a new car. It's like,
yay. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm on board with it being something that's natural, just because it's always something bad that happens. But this person says they experience it about 1 to 2 times a month. I experienced the usual feeling terrified, not being able to move despite using all my strength.
Wiggle your toes.
Sometimes my eyes are open, sometimes they're closed, but that's not the main point. Every time I get out of one, so after he's had the sleep paralysis experience and he can move again, I see a goat man at the end of my bed.
Oh, no.
Squatting, facing away from me.
Squatting?
A goat man squatting that is facing away from him. So, like, I imagine,
is it doing
like
this?
No.
Is it Baphomet?
No.
Is it not?
No, I imagine like a creepy, like in the corner of a room, like Dobby kind of like crouched over.
First of all, it's Dobby.
Sorry, Dobby.
And second of all, that's Baphomet. That's 1,000,000%.
I don't know what that is.
It's a demon.
Oh.
Wait.
Now that I'm thinking about it, yes. So now I think we have concluded that sleep paralysis is the work of the devil.
I honestly think it could be.
It could be.
That's Baphomet.
Oh.
Did he have wings?
No. This person did not see him with wings, but that doesn't mean just because he doesn't say wings doesn't mean that it's not that demon. You know?
Oh my gosh. There's a ring of Baphomet that's going on eBay or on Etsy for $50,000.
Wow.
That makes me want to buy it and
Did
figure out.
Did he make it himself?
Yeah, for real. Like, jeez, people.
Check
Etsy for your demon powers.
You can get everything on Etsy, including demonic entities.
I want little toe socks and a demon ring.
Commemorative jewelry. So yeah, he sees the goat man squatting away from him. Every time I see him, strangely enough, I don't feel scared. Hell, I feel at ease. I feel protected. He stays there until I fall back asleep, not moving. I can see him breathing, but that's the most he moves. So
that stuff happens. If you're in sleep paralysis, people, try wiggling your toes. It's not going to help, but it feels like it's not going to help. It does, but it's going to make you panic when you feel like you're not helping. Also, try to scream.
Do you normally feel at ease during sleep paralysis? Because I feel like you don't.
No.
I feel like this could potentially be like a demon, like trying to make you, like trying to put its spell over you or something to relax you and do something bad.
I've had a sleep paralysis before, similar to this, where I heard like a demon screaming in my ears, and I saw what looks like a singer of a black metal band standing in the room.
Yeah.
And all of my furniture, this was back in the basement, was facing me. Like he turned all of it to face towards me, and he was just staring at me, and I was so trying to stay awake. But I felt like he was putting me back to sleep, and I was trying to. It was the hardest in my life. I was trying to wake up, and I couldn't.
That's
and I
crazy.
fell back asleep.
So I'm kind of glad this has actually never happened to me because this sounds terrifying.
It was scary. That was probably one of the worst.
So it says, I've seen his full body, well, at least half of it before, and a few times during the day when I'm home alone. I was home alone, waiting on my cousin and his dad to come get me and take me to a retro arcade, flashback games. And my family was out shopping. I heard a loud crash as if a box with crap in it, fell. So my first thought was to grab my knife and investigate, because he's home alone. So
that's what
smart
I'd do
thing
too.
to do is grab your knife. I clear my little sister's room, hallway, kitchen, and living room, and I go to my bathroom.
Sweet guy to go for the sister's room first.
I know. I look in the mirror, then I see him. I look in the mirror, and then I see him in my parents' bathroom. My bathroom, the room with the shower, and my parents' bathroom is connected, but separate by doors, if that makes sense. He has a dark gray head, red eyes, and a gray human torso.
Baphomet.
So it does actually sound like it looks like him.
It's Baphomet.
He's kind of built. Couldn't make out muscular features since the mirror was dirty, and I could barely see what I would assume to be goat's bottom of the same shade as the head.
Yep, it's Baphomet. 1,000,000%.
But I could only see the beginning. But I could only see the beginning. Of the legs. Of the legs, okay. He was a bit taller than me. I'm 5'4". Yes, short, but I'm built for my size. So he was about 5'6" or around that, if memory serves right. Do you know if Baphomet is very big? Probably don't know.
I mean, online it doesn't have an actual height for Baphomet. It does not like
Somebody get on that. Somebody make a Wikipedia. Just kidding. Anyway, maybe we could just say that he's 5'6", because that's what this guy's saying. Yeah. Excuse Timber barking. She's going nuts this morning. So although my past experiences with him, I felt safe, my instincts took over. Plus, I didn't expect to see him, so I booked it to my room. Stupid because my knife was out, but thankfully I didn't trip. Once I realized what just happened, I went back to my parents' bathroom to see if he was there, and he wasn't. I still see him and even gave him a name. He named him Baal, B-A-A-L, Baal, after the Mesopotamian god of fertility and harvest, and is depicted as a goat man cradling an infant, if I did my research right. Yeah, except your goat man, even though he gives you a relaxing feeling, does not make me think it's
That's not a good
the
sign.
Mesopotamian god. I think it's more likely that it's this other goat demon.
I'm trying to look
Baphomet.
up. I'm trying to look up what Baphomet's
Baphomet?
known for.
This person said, I have many more stories dealing with the supernatural to tell for some reason. I attract them like maggots to a corpse, so I may tell those later on. Interesting story.
Oh, this is creepy.
What?
So,
What does it say?
the name Baphomet comes up in several of confessions of people from way in the past.
Really?
Yes.
That's creepy. Yeah, I'm not really buying that it's the Mesopotamian god of fertility.
No, I don't either.
Otherwise, it would have an infant in its hands, but it doesn't. But I think this person might recognize that. It's got
an upside. Sometimes he's portrayed with an upside down pentagram on his forehead. Not always. Is mainly a symbol for like Satanism.
Okay.
It's like the main symbol for the Church of Satan as well. There's an 8.5 foot statue of Baphomet in the Satanic Temple. I wonder how that looks.
Interesting. So he's a like Christian demon, if that makes sense.
I think so. Baphomet. I'm trying to like Baphomet possession. You think anyone's been possessed by Baphomet?
Maybe. I mean.
Not seeing anything with him being like more than a symbol. I don't know.
Interesting.
It says he's also worshipped by the Knights deity.
I don't know what that is.
Like the Knights of the Ark or whatever. The Holy Knights, like in Indiana Jones.
Oh, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll try to look into that more.
Yeah.
And,
I think it seems more likely, though, that it is something not good than something good.
Oh, and let's listen to this, people. Let us start a crowdfunder to buy us this ring.
I don't want that in our house.
$50,000.
No.
It is the Georgian occultist Baphomet Memento Mori Gold, enamel and emerald poison ring from 1743.
What?
Yeah. It is 24 grams, heavy in 18K solid gold. It's decorated with 2 carat an emerald precious stone and two old mine-cut diamonds. Covered with green enamel, there is a large container for poison or pills. Signed with
poison?
Yeah. Signed with the Georgian hallmarks for 18 karat gold and the letter H for the year 1743. The head of King George, the London City hallmark and royal crown.
What the heck did they do with that?
It comes with an appraisal certificate for $45,000. Well, why don't you sell it for $45,000? Well, let's raise $45,000.
You gotta make some money on it.
This is a link to the tradition of the memento mori, an object designed to remind us that life is brief and we should seize the moment while we are here. Since the beginning of time, the skull has been used as a symbol of mortality, victory, and the ultimate memento mori.
So, did like evil supervillains wear this ring? Like the evil. I imagine some like evil supervillain.
I mean, look at it. It's pretty crazy, though.
I mean, it's crazy. Creepy.
It's Baphomet because it's got the goat heads on it.
You keep poison in it.
I know, that's
pills.
crazy. That's crazy. Let's buy this ring, people.
I will pass. I'd rather not.
I'll wear it.
Crazy super
I'll wear
villain.
it. I'll wear it. I'll definitely wear it.
I'd keep like sweet tarts in it.
All right, I will read my story now.
Would you like a sweet tart? Breath mint.
Here, let me take one of my mints out.
Okay, what do you got for us?
So, I've recently had an alarming, violent experience at a rural cemetery, and I've been having strange nightmares about it.
Oh, so you give me crap for my title of my story, but yours is equally.
This one has room like, what was the experience? What was in the nightmares? So, this happened a few months ago. My friend had heard that the northern lights might be visible in our area and asked if I wanted to go out for a drive into the country to see if we could catch a glimpse.
I have always wanted to see the northern lights.
Same.
Always.
So, we headed out after dark and drove for a few hours, just searching for a good vantage point.
Wait, can I say something really quick? I'm pretty sure that there is one time of the year that it is possible to see the northern lights from Nebraska.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've just heard that before.
I've heard it's like North Nebraska, I think.
Oh.
But yeah, we should go.
We should do it. Just try it.
So after a while, we started to give up on seeing the lights. My friend realized that we were close to her hometown and noted that she'd been wanting to visit the local cemetery to find the graves of some of her distant relatives. She had recently been researching her genealogy. It was a clear, warm night, and we were both a little disappointed that we hadn't seen the lights. We both wanted to make our trip worthwhile, so we agreed to swing by the cemetery. I want to research my genealogy.
I want to do that too.
I want to do like a 23andMe kit.
For some reason.
But the thing that like makes me feel weird about it is they always sell your like information.
Do they?
I've heard that. Oh, that's the rumor, and I don't want to have my information sold.
I think you could do it online, like a genealogy thing. Like you could pay for like, was it Ancestry.com or something?
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? That somehow reminds me of us going to visit Harvey's grave.
I know.
And then I did research on Harvey.
I know.
When we first met, like our first date was actually to a cemetery at night. Woohoo! What a surprise!
Woo!
And for some reason, we were really drawn to the gravestone of this little boy named Harvey.
We heard footsteps around it.
Yeah,
like
we heard
little kid footsteps.
Yeah, we heard footsteps and stuff going on, and we were drawn to that tombstone. Which I know we've told the story in some of our earlier episodes, but if you're just tuning in with us, I did some research and was able to find Harvey afterwards and a picture of him and like a little bit of his family and stuff. Super interesting.
You can tell he was a good kid.
Yeah. But he's always just been like a little beacon in our relationship. Kind of weird thing. But
so
anyway.
We found the graves, took some photos, and just wandered around for a little while. My friend was leading the way, using the flashlight on her phone to light the path and ensure that we didn't accidentally step on any graves. I'd been feeling increasingly anxious since we arrived, which struck me as odd. I've done several cemetery seriation projects as an archaeologist.
Seriation?
And don't normally feel nervous in cemeteries, even at night. In fact, I usually find that cemeteries are pretty peaceful and calming. Same. But I felt really strange in the cemetery, and I found myself frequently spinning around because I felt like something was standing behind me. Still, I chalked it up to general anxiety and tried not to dwell on it.
I was wondering how they were like doing this without being like scared or anything.
I know.
I'm always paranoid in cemeteries at night. As a kid, I thought if we were in the cemetery after dark, that like we used to go visit for my grandpa's grave.
Yeah.
I used to think that zombies were actually going to come out. So I'd start highly panicking if we weren't out of the cemetery by nighttime. True story.
I swear one day in Germany when I used to visit the German cemetery a lot by myself. I just bike out there because it's so beautiful.
They just don't even look like cemeteries, though.
It's
they
like
just
a beautiful
look like gardens.
But there's this one chapel. It looked like a church, but it was the gravekeeper's place. I swear I saw the Grim Reaper near there.
I believe you.
It was like rainy and dark, and I was like, ooh.
I mean, that's not impossible to see something like the Grim Reaper. People say they see something like that all the time.
Yeah, I swear I did.
And stuff.
So, let me go back to where I was. After wandering for a while, we realized that it was approaching 1 a.m. and that we should probably get back home. We headed toward the car, and the car was in sight, and my friend was a few yards ahead of me when it happened. I suddenly got that nervous feeling again, and thought that I heard someone running up behind me. I was starting to turn my head back to look when I felt something collide with my back right between my shoulder blades. There was a weight behind it, as if someone actually hurtled into me. The impact was so forceful that I was thrown forward and fell flat on my face. And as I scrambled to get back up, I felt the weight hitting me in the shoulders again and was shoved back down. I glanced up to see my friend running toward me. She had also heard someone running back up to us and had heard my initial fall and had turned just in time to see me being pushed back down. She would later tell me that she had seen my hoodie flattening against my back and shifting, as if someone had been pressing their hands against my shoulders.
Weird.
She grabbed my arm to pull me up just as the weight disappeared, and we both bolted to the car, jumping in and instinctively locking the doors. She wasted no time starting the engine and then hastily peeled out of the driveway. As soon as we hit the road, we just sped away from there. We drove for several minutes without saying a word. I think we were both stunned and more than anything confused. She finally glanced at me and said, "What the heck just happened?" I didn't quite know how to answer that. I told her that someone had shoved me to the ground, and she said, "I know, I saw, but what was that? There was nothing there."
It reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob where they're trying to get in the salty spittoon and he quote beats up he beats up Patrick.
Oh, whoa,
the invisible dude.
I love that. We tried to come we tried to come up with a rational explanation, but none of them had made any sense. Had someone ambushed me and then bolted? Definitely not. We would have seen them. Had I tripped? No. I had definitely felt something pushing me, and my friend had seen something being shoving my back down. Had it been the wind? No. I mean, that's just stupid to think it'd be the wind. No wind.
The wind pushed me.
Perhaps an animal had attacked me, but that didn't seem possible either. There are no local animals large enough, strong enough, and stealthy enough to topple a fully grown human without being seen.
A hawk or something, like swoop down, hit you in the back. There's stories of or a bat. I mean, it wouldn't be enough to knock them down, but if she was startled and she maybe fell and she didn't know
But she said she was being pushed down when she's on the ground too, and the hoodie was being you could see in.
That's true.
As the adrenaline faded, I noticed something else. My back hurt, right between my shoulder blades where I'd felt the impact. I could feel a sort of stinging, prickly sensation. It felt like my back had been brushed with stinging needles. I mentioned this to my friend, and she insisted to pulling over and looking at my back. She switched on the hood light and pulled on the collar of my hoodie down to look. I heard her mutter, "What the heck?" She took a photo of my back and showed it to me. The skin between my shoulder blades was reddened, and several little blisters had started to appear. They later swelled up and popped.
Ew.
It was as if I had gotten a sunburn or a chemical burn. There weren't any scratches or cuts. It was a relatively subtle mark, and it was clearly there. We certainly couldn't find out how I'd gotten burned. I hadn't rubbed up against anything. I hadn't touched my back, and I had been wearing my hoodie all night, and there had been no tears or marks in the fabric, and it hurt. And it continued to sting for several days.
Interesting.
She couldn't sleep that night. Her back hurt all the time, and every time she would, she felt like there's something behind her. She also went on to talk about several nightmares she had before then. It was nightmares. So she said she had repeating nightmares as a kid. And this experience brought back nightmares similar to hers.
Ooh, that's not good.
So she says it was always a creature, and she always had the feeling it was a demon. She says, sometimes it takes form of an old woman. I had a dream when I was about 13 years old when I was wandering through a forest. I came across a little cottage with the old woman standing by the porch. She beckoned me inside, and I acquiesced. We spent more time casually talking and baking cookies, but I felt uneasy around her, and she got the sense she wanted something from me. At one point, I glanced out the window and noticed a group of people standing in the yard, calling out to the old woman. I asked who these people were, and I vividly remember what she told me. They want me. Sorry, I'm
Can't
starting
talk
so much.
much.
I'm so scared. They want me to take them in, but I don't want them. I want you.
Ew. It's like the old lady from Hansel and Gretel.
I had repeat nightmares of an old lady like this when I was a child.
Maybe it's a specific demon.
Jade,
what?
Jade can confirm that pretty much every ghost story I've had a similar encounter to it. And you can ask me about my childhood dreams. They're pretty dark.
I never really had any childhood dreams.
Do you agree, though?
Yeah.
I've got weird dreams. I remember one of my most repetitive childhood dream was I was at this lake, and on the other side of this lake is this old lady in a white dress, and she was floating, not walking, and she was trying to get to me. And I kept running and running, and I could never outrun her, and she finally got me every time.
One time when I was a kid, this is like the only thing I ever had happen to me. Actually, two things. One thing, I had Furbies. Do you remember Furbies?
Of course.
They're so creepy, and like looking back, I was always like kind of creeped out by my Furby.
I loved them.
But I remember my grandmother like staying the night at my house, and like we couldn't get the Furby to stop talking.
That's just a Furby, though.
We took out the batteries, and we ended up putting it in my closet, like in a pillow.
Take my batteries out?
Pillowcase, and put it in the closet. And I vividly remember this. I want to ask her about it.
Just like the
dolphin.
Remember
this. I will ask her about it.
Just like the dolphin you saw in the lake.
I will seriously text her. And then the other thing I remember is, did you ever watch the movie Anastasia?
No.
Okay, well, I used to have dreams about Rasputin, the evil guy, and I'd swear I'd see him at the end of my bed. The evil guy from Anastasia.
Rasputin's the bad guy?
I think that's his name is Rasputin, yeah.
Rasputin is a Russian womanizer. That just
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's his name. I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Oh, okay. So, in other dreams, it has had a more sinister appearance, but I always recognize it as the same creature. I sometimes have dreams in which it is sitting in the dark at my bedside, whispering to me.
Sorry. Grigory Rasputin.
Grigory Yefimokov Rasputin. Okay, so it's got Rasputin in it.
Yeah, but he goes by Rasputin.
Okay.
Boom.
So yeah.
Proof that the Furby story is real. Sorry.
I don't believe
Continue.
it. So she'd see it as like a more creepy demon in a lot of dreams too. It had a shadowy appearance with long, lanky limbs and empty eye sockets. Its teeth are made of razor wire, and there's something like a blood or wine gleaming on its lips.
That kind of makes me think of the old lady from The Shining in the bathtub.
No, it looks more like a Wendigo from Until Dawn.
Ah.
Is what the photo they attached. And it's always eating a rotten apple.
Oh, disgusting.
I've long suspected that this creature is some manifestation of my deepest and most troubling fears.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Someone commented it looks like a Shinigami, and I haven't been able to research that a lot.
So.
But that's apparently the demon from Death Note, and the Death Note demon always has an apple.
That makes sense.
But I don't know if it's just in Death Note that Shinigamis have a apple.
Yeah, but sometimes one theory in the paranormal realm is that when people like start believing in things, that they have the ability to make it real.
So I think there's a chance that she's being visited by a Shinigami. Another thing that
wait. So she thinks that it's connected. The thing that hit her in the back is connected to her dreams.
She later said like that she knew it was that in the cemetery that hit her.
That's so weird. But why would it choose to attack her there out of all the times?
Maybe there's like a vulnerability in the field or something, like in the earth there.
Who knows? Interesting.
It's interesting. It definitely sounds like a Shinigami. Another person was saying that because it was a night that you could see.
Oh, the Aurora Boreal. The Northern Lights.
Yes. That what could have been on her back would be a chemical burn because of the solar flares.